It's a box from my garage. An old friend who moved away a long time ago gave all his game stuff to friends. And this is my box, and it's been in my garage for a long time because I forgot about it. I don't remember what's in it. Yeah, I peeked at the top, and I recognize a couple things, but they're not things I play or have played in a long time, and there's a ton underneath. So I thought it would be kind of fun to just go through it and talk a little bit about it, each thing. So that's what we're gonna do.
Forgot about it. He forgot about it.
First thing out of our mystery box is this little leatherette covered TSR book. It doesn't say anything about what it is. It's TSR, so it's old. The spine. Oh, here we go. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Encyclopedia Magica. Nothing on the back. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what this is. I mean, I know it's for 2E now, obviously, but let's look. This doesn't feel. Oh, the binding's coming off a little. Like this feels like third party, but it says TSR on it. Encyclopedia Magica credits. It is impossible to list all the creators of the items cataloged in these volumes, but credit goes to everyone who has created a magic item in a module, box set, accessory, hardbound, or magazine article in the last 20 years. Let's see if I recognize any of his names. No. Roger E. Moore I recognize. Clyde Caldwell, Jeff Easley did some art. Don't recognize any of these other names. But a date. 1994. Okay, so we're approaching the end here for TSR whenever this came out. This is interesting. So this is like a magic item encyclopedia. When the Dungeons & Dragons game first appeared in 1974, no one was. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna. Just try to get a feel, and if it's something I remember, I'll talk about that. How to use these books. The last volume of this encyclopedia contains tables that randomly determine which magical items are found in a treasure hoard, though artifacts and most relics are excluded from the tables. For those players and DMs who prefer to play a tongue-in-cheek game, we included pun items in the random tables. We suggest that DMs select the items PCs discover in order to keep game busters from appearing at random. Game busters. What we would call broken today. Each item listed in the Encyclopedia Magica collection marks its type and name, gives the experience points and gold piece values, old school, the source, and detailed description. To find a particular item, look under its name or use the detailed index supplied in the final volume. Okay, so this is literally a late life TSR product that is an encyclopedia of magic items. So we've got a lot of how to use information, monetary conversion tables for some reason. Artifact tables. Okay, so it looks like there's also tables for making artifacts. Cool. Healing, immunity, major powers, planner, protection. Okay, and then we get into actual listed items. So let's just, like I said, there's a lot in this box, so I'm not going to do deep dives on this. This is a really interesting product, though, because I've never seen this before, I don't think. And it does not look like the other 2nd edition line products. So it is very interesting in that respect. So we'll just kind of skip through and admire some art, maybe look at a couple items. Okay, so there's armor. Oh, that's cool. Just a breakdown of pieces of plate mail. Which, I guess... Okay, well, I guess you could have magical pieces of armor. That's cool. Oh, some color plates. Oh, that's pretty nice. This is so weird because it's not a full format. It's I don't know, what is this, folio? What do you call this size? It's a weird like 6x9, 7x9 kind of size. Interesting. Arrowhead of marking. These normal-looking stone arrowheads must be shaped by the being enchanting them. The common use of these devices is as the dungeon and maze markers. If one is placed on a stone surface in a command word set during the enchantment of the item spoken, the arrowhead sinks into the surface of the stone. There it fuses, leaving a clearly visible arrowhead mark pointing in the direction it was set. So, tangent here. One of the things about D&D that kind of I got over and it turns me off now is magic as technology. Like, magic just fills all these mundane things in life. And there's magic designed for the business of dungeon delving, and that takes the specialness out of both magic and dungeon delving. Like, it's not much of an adventure if you can go to a store and buy magic items specifically made to dungeon delve. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just personal opinion. It takes the mystery and magic and adventure and all the excitement kind of out of it for me. Guy with a lady in a crystal coffin. I'm sure these are reused color plates from other things, I'm guessing. See if there's any more cool ones in here. Oh yeah, okay, this was the cover of Unearthed Arcana, one of the big AD&D hardback supplements. Pretty sure that's what that is. Ooh, that's very kind of, what is that, easily? It might be easily Forgotten Realms looking art there. Give me more color plates. I don't care about your mundane magic items. Okay, nice to see some just old school black and white art in here too. Not a ton of art, very. But, you know, old school D&D never did put a ton of art in their books, just chosen strategically, I guess, and for budgetary purposes. Okay, well, this is kind of cool. Never seen it before. Let's see. TSR. Nothing on the cover. That trips me out. That Encyclopedia Magica, Volume 1, and I can see, I think, out of the corner of my eye that the Volume 2 is sitting in the box, so let's grab it. Ta-da! This one's red. Encyclopedia Magica, Volume 2, and this one's got some road wear on it, a little damaged. Nothing on the back again, TSR emblazoned. Marble. Oh, they got rid of all the extra blank pages like in the first book. Volume 2, Decoy Dust to Phylactery of Righteousness? That's just a string of words. What are they doing? Credits look like they are kind of the same, although Roger Moore's name has come off of this one. Interesting. Cool picture. This, I like the older black and white illustrations like this, because there's a lot going into this, but it's also black and white, so it just seems of an age similar to a lot of other D&D stuff. I like it a lot. Right into dust. What? So I guess because it's an encyclopedia, we're doing letters, you know, and then things under the letters. The first book had a bunch of intro stuff and tables at the beginning because it was the first book. So that kind of makes sense. Dust of Dryness. Ooh. Oh, and it's got a reference. Oh, okay. Look at this. Dungeon Master Guide, first edition. So these are compilations. They're actually compiling stuff from old D&D books. Interesting. Very interesting. Palace of Silver Princess, Black Opal Eye, Dungeon Master's Guide. Yeah, so they're just compiling. This actually makes this a little more valuable and interesting because it's just a compilation of magic items from other supplements and other books. Of Vecna 2. Huh? This is what I get for skipping around. It said, though not in the hearing of strangers, that when the mighty Lich Vecna finally met his doom, one of his eyes survived along with his hand. Okay. So is it the eye of the Vecna, the hand of Vecna? The eye has one primary power that... Yeah, it is. What? Oh, okay. That's what I get for skipping ahead, I guess. So the whole topic is eye, right? This part of the encyclopedia is eye. So anything that's an eye of something, they're just not bothering to print the word eye. Why? I mean, why not? Anyway. TSR, old days. So this is Eye of Vecna and Eye of Vecna 2, so I guess both eyes of the old Lich Vecna. Okay, fingers. So the topic is finger. So finger of commanding, of master thief. Fingernail of rending. They had to work that one in. And then fire. Okay. So I get the groove now. This is a lot of... It's an interesting historical thing. And I like looking at the art. Gnome Wrecker, like Home Wrecker, get it? But it does feed the whole thing. I just don't like magic being a super prevalent thing. This is somebody facing off with, I believe, a pit fiend down there in the hells or Hades or whatnot. And is that a pit fiend or the bone? Oh, what's it called? It's called like a bone demon or something. I can't remember. Anywho, he's in a bad place. I appreciate the color plates. There's a winged hammer. There's whelm. Okay. Oh, that means Black Razor might be in here somewhere. So whelm is a magical hammer from one of my favorite Funhouse D&D modules. It's White Plume Mountain, and it says that right there. That is so cool. That takes me back. See, when we were playing back then, a magic item like that was a big deal, and we didn't have a million other magic items. It wasn't like, yep, throw it on the pile, we'll use it when it's appropriate. It was, I had freaking whelm, and I'm gonna hammer somebody with it. So whelm was sort of like a take on Thor's hammer. They also, in that same module, had Black Razor, which was a total, take on or rip off of Stormbringer from the Elric saga, the soul-sucking sword of Elric. And there was one other one. It was a wave. It was a magical trident, which I don't know if there was, like, maybe that Poseidon had something like that. I'm not sure. Anywho, these are really interesting as historical documents for me. Not very inspirational as a game, although I like that art. Check out that. Got that Forgotten Realms kind of ranger vibe going on. Yeah, dig that. Dig that. And they, oh, I should have mentioned, they have a little bookmark ribbon. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Gets up into the M's. Oh, okay, so let's see. 'Cause I don't think I have any more in this box, at least not at a glance looking down. How far into this does this go? Letter P, it looks like. They have a category called peg leg. What? Peg leg of Immerked Invisible, peg leg of Walking. There's more than one magical peg leg in the D&D verse. Interesting. So it looks like we're in the P's. So there was at least a volume 3 probably that we don't appear to have. Which also means like sword would be in another book probably. Which probably a giant section for sword. Okay. TSR Encyclopedia of Magica Volume 2. Again, never heard of these, but kind of cool to look at. What's next? Here's something very random. The box just had some broken HeroScape tiles in it. Like, seriously broken. HeroScape's a good game. A lot of fun. And it got relaunched by maybe Restoration Games? But, yeah. Just broken tiles, I guess. I'm not going to hang on to those. Those are going in the garbage. What's next? Okay, I just brought this all up together because I could kind of tell grabbing it was all related. It's Runequest stuff. In no particular order. It's a Runequest ruler. Runequest range stick. Oh my god. Metric. Is it all metric? Maybe? Wow. Didn't even know this was a thing. Oh, it unfolds. Look at that. Runequest range stick. So this is just a matte cardstock, really lightweight. Impressed that it's in such good condition, actually. Oh, it's got little headers on the sorcery spell minimum and an atlatl, thrown weapon, light crossbow, spirit spell, medium crossbow. So they've wrote minimum and ranges or maximum ranges into their little ruler. So this was intended to be a measure tactical kind of game, which I haven't played Runequest much, but we never did that. Okay, game aids. Okay, so this looks like the kind of thing that probably came with a GM screen, maybe. And this has got a real, yeah, this is the Avalon Hill Game Company. So this is during the time that Runequest was controlled by Avalon Hill. And it looks like June 1984. Wow. So Runequest has been through several hands. Been kind of shepherded by several designers. There's also games that aren't technically Runequest. I can't remember the name of it. I think Mongoose publishes it, but it's the Runequest core system. But I think Chaosium controls Runequest again now, so it's a separate thing. Anywho, we've got a resistance table that's classic sort of Runequest and basic role-playing game system. You would like look at your attribute, compare it to an opposing attribute, and find a percentage that you needed to roll. This is a chunky game. It was a percentile based game, but it had a A lot of results. So here's a chart that shows you like your skill rating, what you need to get a critical success, what you need for a special success, what you need for a fumble. I'm not going to go into... This is not a Runequest episode. I just want to breeze through some of this. So we've got some weapon charts. We've got ship sheets. Adventurer sheet. This is cool. Okay. So, these are just full-on extra character sheets. Back in the days where you didn't just print them out at home or even go to a copy center. Spells breakdown. This probably came in a Game Master screen pack, I would imagine. Okay. What's in this box? Ah, man. So that means there was a Runequest box set here once upon a time. Welcome to the worlds of Runequest. Using its rules and procedures, you can take your adventurers on amazing fantasy journeys, and you can watch him or her grow in skill and fortune. Okay, so there's a player's book, red cover, magic book, red cover, game master book, gray cover, creature book, gray cover, Glorantha book, gray cover, player's notes, no cover, game aids, fantasy Europe map, and dice. Seems like there was a lot in the box set. Maybe it is all here. Wow, that'd be awesome. Oh, there's maps. Ooh. The village of Greenbrass. Okay. So there's an adventure going on here. Another character sheet, player notes, character generation summary. Alright. So you got a culture, your base attributes, which they look, if you've never played BRP, they're similar to D&D, but then they add a skill system and they use percentile to resolve everything instead of D20 with target numbers. So 3d6 for strength, con, power, dex, and appearance. And then 2d6 plus 6 for size and intelligence. Always funny that they separated those out. That was very common, like they did it in Call of Cthulhu and some other games. Then they had hit location in Runequest. Runequest was a lot crunchier, I would say, than some other BRP type games. Hit locations, more kind of skill use in combat. Call of Cthulhu, obviously that wasn't their focus. Alright. Game math. These are all just in here at no particular sense of order or orientation. The Game Master book. So book 3 in that box set. Okay, so one thing I'll say about Avalon Hill, although it does give me memories and stuff to see it, it's a lot of just flat gray and this kind of pinky red they love to use at Avalon Hill. Because it was cheaper, right? To do this sort of 2-color process. You got black and this red was way cheaper to do than printing a full color, especially this is what, 84? Wow. So we got scenario aids. Okay, so this was some kind of just box set to get you going. Like RuneQuest got way chunkier and bigger and way more supplements and stuff after this. So here's our little adventure, the money tree. This is a ready to play scenario for both beginning game masters and beginning players. Oxar Shattersun, proprietor of the Bouncing Buffalo Inn and Tavern, initiate of Ezrola. The other thing about RuneQuest is kind of funny is like the whole aesthetic is Bronze Age, but they're still going to have like some very more medieval things. Like, of course, there's an inn with an innkeeper, and you know, I know the Romans kind of did that, but that was technically not Bronze Age anymore. Okay, Game Master book. Ooh, this did not come in the book set. The box set, I guarantee, because I recognize this. This is a supplement. RuneQuest Cities. RuneQuest Cities is a supplement for the RuneQuest role-playing game. This book is fully usable with any edition of RuneQuest. I love this art. This book is very worn. It was apparently used a lot, which is cool. And you can see in the credits, the Avalon Hill Game Company. So they're still making stuff for RuneQuest, but then it also has the Chaosium logo. So it's like they were licensing it, probably. Because this book, just the type of book, the stapled cover with kind of a sort of a semi-gloss feel with a full color art, is not very Avalon Hill of that era. It's way more Chaosium. This feels like an old school Chaosium book. But then you look inside and it looks like an Avalon Hill book. Oh, look, they put the color plate on the inside too. Well, that looks nice. There, not all weather beaten. Create and explore. So, Stephen Averson, John Everson, and Midkemia Press. Oh, okay. So we've got Chaosium, Avalon Hill, and some other kind of third-party thing going on. Counters. Town soldier, town watch, soldiers, slavers. Okay, yeah, so this would probably not pass muster today, but yeah, the slave. How to explain this? In fantasy role-playing games in the 80s and 90s and probably early 2000s, some bad guys were slavers. Some fantasy nations allowed slavery. It was... You can hate it, I guess. I obviously we hate slavery in the real world, but I think bad guys doing bad things is part of the adventure, right? Part of the drama and the challenge and the tension is dealing with bad guys doing bad things. And that is all I will say about that right now. Drunk townsperson. So this would be... I don't know if you would not see an acknowledgement of drunk or drugged people these days, but probably toned down. Let's see. So you roll a d20, which is unusual. Why are we rolling a d20 in this percentile-based game that usually uses only 10-sideds for percentile and 6-sideds for other stuff? Anywho, let's see. A drunk accidentally bumps a player character. Roll a d20 on a result of 1 to 8. He's belligerent. 9 to 12, he's apologetic. At 13 to 15, he ignores the player character. On 16 to 20, he accuses the player character of robbing him. Alright, so this is just a fun supplement for trouble your characters can get up to in a city. It's literally just charts for things you're encountering in a fantasy urban realm. Again, to me, it feels more medieval. Oh, Staples coming out. Bummer. Feels more medieval than Bronze Age, although this art here is very Bronze Age. But it's cool. It's very cool. It's falling apart, but it's cool. Oh, someone put notes in it. Someone took notes. Oh, they scratched through the tables? Oh, you savages. Yeah, well, we didn't know better when we were kids. I kind of get it. They were actually noting it in here instead of tearing out a piece of paper and making notes on that, or making a photocopy of this. Although, again, in 1984, getting it to a photocopier was pretty hard. Saving? What actually happened in essay? Investments. So we've got downtime stuff to do in the city. Living with no money. Costs. So living costs. In room and board. In room only. Clothing. Companionship. Oh dear. That's another one. Guess what? The medieval world probably had befriending people. Military career. Player catch-up form. Date, events, money. Oh, so this little form does that. Okay, here's what's been going down. Interesting. the #1 role-playing system. So this is not all what was in the box set, I don't think, because like Vikings and such, Gods of Glorantha wouldn't have been in there, but it's... Oh, there's our fancy Europe map. I hope that's in here somewhere. Alright, so this is kind of cool. It's like a supplement for just what your players get up to in towns. Got a lot of charts for ideas and stuff. That's pretty cool. Oh, Gloranthan Bestiary, whatever you want to call it. Okay, again, Avalon and Chaosium together. Let's have a date on it. Creatures from around the world. 1988. You see that? 1988. So we're moving along, and this book's in really good condition, actually. So it didn't get used a ton, I guess. Gloranthan Bestiary. How do you say it? Actually, I want to say Bestiary, but then I think maybe Bestiary is better. So same thing, 2-color print process with a pretty bland second color. That's very Avalon Hill. Charngibber. What the heck? Metamorphosum ephemeris. So they gave them like fake Latin, like species and type names. The Charngibber is a bizarre and highly chaotic. Oh, the Charngibber is bizarre and highly chaotic, whose natural shape is unknown. It is only found during the dry season. A Charngibber always takes the shape of whatever creature it last swallowed, plus 1d6 tentacles. So it eats a thing, takes the shape, and has tentacles. Charngibber always takes the strength, size, dex, and appearance of its current form, but retains its own con, intelligence, and power. It gains all the special powers and natural skills of its chosen form. If a Charngibber eats a vampire, it gains the ability to drain magic points, hypnotize at a glance. Okay. It's funny, I'm sure they did vampire just as an example, but it's funny that, you know, it's like, what if it eats a vampire? Well, okay, what if it eats a lot of things? Whoa, look at this guy, Black Elf. He's, look at the big brain on Brad. Green Elf, Gargoyle. So, elf, comma, black. Mycota troglodytes. Well, that's a weird name for him. Found worldwide, but rare. The black elves are not really Alderami, but popular conceptions mistakenly place them in this category. Black elves claim no descent from Flamel. So it's a bunch of world lore stuff that I don't remember. Nor do any other elves claim them to be such, but since they are not animals, human scholars mistake them for plants. These are kinfolk of mushrooms and other fungi. Black elves are small and hermaphroditic, and siblings are in telepathic communication with each other. Black elves are found across Glorantha in secret underground caverns, trolllands, or the rare toadstool forests. They are the rarest seen of all elf types, even though we just told you they are not elves. They got all their stats. They don't seem to have crazy stats. They have a Hesh weapon. The Hesh is a large moist pad which seeps drug, poison, venomous parasites, or acid. In combat, the Dark Elf simply slaps the Hesh onto his opponent's flesh. A Hesh contains enough fluid for at least a dozen hits. Okay, that's weird. It's like a bag of hash. Who are Gulper and Hoon? Again, I'm not going to dwell on any of these books too much because there are a million of them. But this is cool. Titanothere, Great Troll, Jungle Troll. They kind of look like a cross between some kind of pigman and a D&D troll. Oops. Alright. Advertisement. Okay, very cool. And that book's in really good condition. Monster Coliseum. This is not going to fit on the camera, is it? This is a battle map. 15 millimeter. So it's a hex, or partly hex map of literally of a Coliseum. Looks like if I unfolded this, which I'm not going to be able to fit under this camera, it would be roughly a 2x3 poster size, 2 foot by 3 foot. Yeah, very cool. Red Bear Lodge Scenarios book. Okay. So 1986 on this one. Griffin Island personalities. These are the Griffin Island personalities which you will probably use in your campaign. Okay, so just lists of folk. Creatures. Big fish. There's our encounter tables. Very old school. Herd beasts. Gorgosaurs. These horrible monsters hunt the wilds. They usually hunt alone. Though on occasion they are encountered as a pair for mating? Question mark? They are fortunately rare. Gorgosauri are carnivores, usually hungry, and may attack anything encountered unless they have just eaten a very large meal. Oh yeah, they are dangerous. So characters rolling 3d6 for strength. This thing has an average of 83 strength. Yeah. Scenario hooks. Pit hunting. Oh, so little mini hooks. That's nice, and not super old school actually to actually call them hooks. And you know, they're things to get you going, figure it out for yourself. Minor encounters with a direction randomizer. Very crunchy and tactical. Not really my bag anymore. Like figuring out what facing you're at when an encounter happens is like so not my bag anymore. I'm way more into telling a story and getting into the exciting stuff. But to each their own. And some of these mechanics, I'm sure, may not even exist in Runequest anymore, or they've been massively changed. Red Eye Temple, very cool. The Pits. Fershala's Prison. Dryad's Grove. Alright, so yeah, nice little adventure booklet here. Ancient Orc Tomb. Oh, it's vertical. Like that. That's pretty cool. You got top view and cross section. Nice. And it's small. I do appreciate this. This is a little tomb, right? Which is what tombs probably should be if you think about it. This is not a mega dungeon. I appreciate that. Waterworm Island. River of the Damned sounds cool. So again, we got the hex thing going on. Nice complex. This is in good shape too. Very nice. Player handouts. Take this entire book apart. Well, we didn't do that. This book is a collection of pieces to be given to the players as your Griffin Island campaign progresses. Oh, it's handouts for your whole campaign. So this is to support the Griffin Island campaign. Ooh. Alright. So this is a more of a Chaosium thing. Cool handouts and such was... Oh, that's a nice looking little town. Nice looking little town. Soldier Port. Okay, number 1 inn. So you've got a tavern. You've got rooms, places for staff, and stables. Again, it's supposed to be Bronze Age, but just feels way more medieval to me. But whatever, fantasy, have fun. Alright, so that's cool. Little player's handout. I don't know what's on the back. Oh, just a GM log. Why is there a GM log on the player handout? What? I don't know. It's okay. Game Master book. Didn't we just look at a Game Master book? Hold on. We did. We have 2 copies of the Game Master book. Alright, not gonna go through it. The Glorantha book. Book 5. So this is the world book, and someone was eating chocolate or something when they were reading this. Introduction to Glorantha? What was that noise? Oh look, more broken Heroescape. In the trash. Okay. The world of men is shaped like a huge lozenge floating upon an unlimited sea. Waters wash parts of the lands. Most humans live near the center of this lozenge. The sun rises from the east each morning and passes over the air and across the sky to set each evening. It then travels beneath the seas and earth through the underworld, and finally again up to the... Okay, so it's like a flat earther with an underworld kind of thing going on. Map of Glorantha, the world as known to men. Alright, well this is like way zoomed out, right? Obviously, because there's a lot to this world. Myths and history. Here's the runes. It's Runequest after all. Gotta have your runes. Ooh, look what death is. Oh, controversial. Ooh. Cult of Ernalda. So yeah, there's a lot of different religious cults in the world. They just call all their different faiths cults, basically. A little creature. Okay, creature dispersion kind of chart. Dragon thing. Dragon newts. Interesting. Dragon newts get a whole big section. Woctopus. Human-like bodies with heads resembling large entire octopi. A woctopus. Okay, so that's kind of a mind flayer then? Except it doesn't look like it's crazy psionic. That's funny. Charts for chaotic creatures. Alright, very cool. And look. More of the Heroescape. Why is something beeping on my... Oh, that's why. Sorry. This probably came out of something else. Yep. Okay, Game Aids. Yeah. This got ripped out by the Staples. So we already had one of these, so we'll move on. What is this? Another map. Read Me First. Griffin Island is a set of RuneQuest scenarios designed for continued use as an extended campaign requiring minimal contribution and effort by the game master. Okay, so this is a giant poster. I would just like to unfold it a little to show you. Oh yeah. This is Griffin Island, and someone has written all over it. It looks like. Or maybe it's printed that way? Oh, I think it's printed that way. Oh, so it's kind of to give it like a used feel. Alright, that's nice. That's in good condition too. What is this? Eldorad, The Lands Beyond. 1990. So Avalon Hill. So, okay. So this is sort of a expansion, jig world building kind of thing going on. Very cool. What is this? Oh, pads of adventurer sheets. Yeah, again, back in the old, not home printing days. Oh, and they're by species. So this is a brew, and there's a little outline of a brew. Brewer like Beastmen. So you got a little outline, so you could draw your own little character over it. Super cool. What else we got? Centaur. ogre, halfling, a lot of halflings, elf, but not black elf, because they're fungus apparently. Dwarf, come on, where's my duck? There he is. So, Runequest, along with Dragonbane, are two games that feature anthropomorphic dwarf, can't talk, duck species, and they were my favorite. Super cool. Bunch of character sheets for a game I'll never play. Runequest adventure sheet. It's time to reorder. Oh, little advertisement. Player's notes. Character conversion. Players familiar with previous editions of RuneQuest may wish to integrate the new elements of the system into their adventures. Oh, okay, so it's conversion to the Avalon Hill version of RuneQuest. What's in this box with a soda stain or coffee stain or something? Oh, here's more for that Eldorad map. We've got encounter charts and some kind of little city breakdown there that's really hard to read because they used a little floofy cursive font. Alright, so this was someone's RuneQuest collection, and so it's not in any particular order that makes sense to us. Plus I just grabbed it and yanked it out of the box. Oh. Chariot races. Okay, so this is like a little grid to do like a chariot race on. Alright. And there's little chariots to cut out over here. So Avalon Hill was kind of a board war game company. Their specialty for a long time were those little hex grid maps with chits that represented units in a military conflict. So I'm sure they were like, yeah, we got to work some of that into this. Very cool. More ship sheets. Chariot sheet. Okay, so team data. So this was like a whole chariot race kind of thing. More game aids. Egyptian chariot, Persian. Okay, so this is kind of funny too, because it's like, I understand why they're doing it, but it kind of take you out of it that you're talking about an Egyptian chariot, a Persian chariot, a heavy Roman race chariot, a Chinese command chariot. Couldn't you just take those as inspiration and make up your own names? Celtic chariot. You can't, because this Avalon Hill was wargamers, and wargamers were all about historical reference, historical accuracy. So it makes perfect sense to them to say, well, yeah, this is what an Egyptian chariot was like. Put in your game. Obviously, in the game, you won't call it an Egyptian chariot, but it is an Egyptian chariot. Anyway, wargamers. Oh, somebody's character sheet. Okay. So I don't know. Okay, adventurer name is Canton Dragonclaw. The player name is Eldon Williams. Eldon Williams, I don't know who you are, but props, because he's written in very small text above, Titans, someone best left unfucked with. you go, Eldon. Rob. So Rob is who I got this stuff from. He moved away years ago and gave this to me. I put it in the garage and forgot about it. Sorry, Rob, but I really appreciate you letting me have this stuff. It's fun to look through. So a bunch of characters, different kinds of sheets. Someone drew their centaur. Aww. What's this? Oh, there's our GM log. More characters. Elf there for Eldon Williams. Good job, Eldon. Here's the world map. So it did make it. Now, this is very colorful. This is very not like Avalon Hills. So RuneQuest did use Fantasy Europe, so the land masses you will be pretty familiar with, I imagine. Well, okay, I take it back. So there's Fantasy Europe and then there's Glorantha. And what I was saying about the chariots makes sense in the context of playing in Fantasy Europe, because there would be like an Egypt type place down here, and a Rome and such in the Fantasy Europe. So that makes sense. So I apologize to wargamers from 40 years ago. The player's book, which is actually pretty meaty. Number 1 from that box set, complete with stains. Again, the 2-color printing process. Creating an adventurer. Magic points. So skill-based system and point-driven magic system. You had to spend points to make your spells work. I'm going to just sort of combat. So they're explaining combat in the player book. That's good. Weapons, melee weapons, special weapons. Oh, this, when I was a young gamer, I lived for any time a book had pictures of the weapons in it. I think who says this? It's a metal glove for punching people. Boomerang, nice. Skill explanation, a little bit about the world. And character sheet again. Alright, very cool. So that's interesting. So there's the Glorantha world, and then there's the Fantasy Europe world. And I don't honestly know if those are divided by the licensing, like Chaosium was Glorantha, Avalon Hill was Fantasy Europe, or they went back and forth. I'm not sure. Creature book. Sandy Peterson, Steve Perrin. So legends tied to RuneQuest and other games. Not a lot of art going on in this book. Not a lot of art. They got hit locate, because it's a hit location game. They're doing like breakdowns of hit location for monsters, specific monsters. Kind of cool. There we go. Glorantha book. So this is Glorantha here that we're talking about. Glorantha is the most thoroughly explored game world in print available today. Its exploration was begun in 1966 by Greg Stafford, who has continued compiling information. In 1966, the board game White Bear Red Moon first appeared. That game, considerably revised, is still available from the Avalon Hill Game Company under the title Dragon Pass. So we see the connection. In 1978, RuneQuest appeared, the latest edition of which accompanies this booklet in the boxed version. From 1978 until the present, dozens of adventures and sourcebooks set in or concerning Glorantha have been published, much to the delight of thousands of fans. That's a nice little bit of history there. Some of this we already saw. Yeah, very cool though. So it seems like they may have had 2 of the box sets. Yeah, they did. Look, that's hilarious. Okay. Well, we'll look through one of them a little bit. So, magic, spirit magic, the planes, divine magic. So spirit magic, divine magic, cool picture, sorcery. Sorcery is not easily mastered by an adventurer. Each sorcery skill must be developed individually, and effective sorcery spells frequently require the use of many magic points. Cool. So, what do we got? Create basilisk? Damn. Create vampire? Alright. Teleport. Treat wounds. Venom. Spell resistance. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So that's 2 books of magic. Monster book. Do you remember to look at this one? Oh no, maybe not. I don't remember the spread. That's kind of cool. Minotaurs and mummies. A Samnite left warily approaches a rope-spinning Laquarius. So gladiator stuff. So definitely they're embracing the whole ancient world, Bronze Age kind of thing. Although again, the Romans wouldn't really be Bronze Age in the times that we think of them. Anywho. Cool. Adventure book. With a ton of stains on it. These weren't mine, okay? They were given to me. I don't do this to books anymore. The Hag of the Barrows. Yeah, cool. Again, very light on art. Oldhon Burr of the Fairy Village. The Fairy Village. Okay, alright. Man, there's a lot of... Oh, okay. What do you think? I mean, this was probably owned by kids. So Coke, probably Coke. Hopefully Coke. Map book. Oh, this is cool. Just a bunch of little, clearly originally hand-drawn map locations. That's cool. The Colosseum book. Alright, so this is probably tied to the chariot race map we saw earlier and the big fold-out arena map. I'm guessing. That's cool. Literary gladiators. Intelligent species as gladiators. The gladiators. Alright, yeah, so this is all geared to gladiator combat and then chariot racing. So there's a heavy Roman vibe on this one. Very heavy Roman vibe. Alright. Oh, a little thing about solo adventure. What? These rules allow you to play Runequest when there are no other players about. Monster Colosseum is well suited to solo play. Also, solo adventure allows you to test potential group play scenarios. It happens to all of us. You're ready to play, tuned up for epic adventure in the afternoon and the evening are free for a game, but Nick and Rachel are painting the ceiling. Maury is in Kansas City and Carmen is having dinner with her grandmother. What do you do? See, these are problems from ages ago, like literally about 40 years ago, that we still have today. Okay, so it's a little thing about playing solo, but it does not really seem to have a system. So it's probably just advice. Cool though, that they thought of it. What? Game Master book. This one's green. Is it different? Soldier Port. Citadel Lockless. Citadel Nick. Here's our map. Okay, so this was our big fold-out map, which this green writing at first I thought was the person that owned the book writing on it, but it's not. It's an intentional thing. I guess to make it look like you possess the map of someone else who wrote on it. The History of the Supplement. Griffin Island is a revision of a supplement previously published by Chaosium Inc. And there you go, Chaosium. In a form quite different from this one, we feel a short note of explanation is deserved. The Avalon Hill Game Company publishes a new edition of RuneQuest, and its supplements gives Chaosium the artistic opportunity to improve all previously published RuneQuest products. Eventually, everything which you have seen and enjoyed will be reprinted. This feels like a dig. Like, Feels like Avalon Hill flexing and saying, we're doing it better than you did, Chaosium. That's kind of funny. That is funny. City book. Is this the same one we looked at earlier? No, maybe. No, this is different. Eldorad, though. Eldorad was that tiny, hard to read map of a city we saw. So this is a game master book just for Eldorad. So whoever owned all this RuneQuest stuff probably bought what? They bought the RuneQuest box set and then apparently a second one. And then they bought that Chaosium / Avalon Hill City supplement. And then they bought this Eldorad thing. And then they bought, what was that other one? A Coliseum book. And that's just scratching the surface. There's a ton of RuneQuest stuff out there in the world, old and new. Ooh, look at that. Jackal of the Tiger's Head Tribe. Cool. Alright, did we finish the RuneQuest? Let me look in the box. More broken Hero Quest tiles. The answer is no. RuneQuest Scorpion Hall Solo Quest 2. So this is an actual solo book for Rogue Quest. Didn't even know those existed. That was, especially in this era, way more the province of Tunnels and Trolls and the Flying Buffalo people. But that's cool that they did a solo book with almost no art in it, looks like. It's from Alan Laverne. Ooh, we got like a Naga choking out an adventurer. This is Scorpion Hall, a unique solitaire adventure for the RuneQuest game system. Any Gloranthan or Quest World character may enter. In this scenario, an adventurer, or more probably a series of adventurers, can explore the habitat of the dread Scorpion Men without repeating encounters experienced in previous explorations. If a monster is killed, it stays dead, but someone entirely different moves in to replace it. The loot from scragged adventurers, scragged? Does that mean like killed? Will be found on the bodies and in the hands of scraggers. Okay. This adventure is not meant to be played out in a day. Your characters will slowly probe into the ruin deeper with each exploration, until the last one comes out the other end, leaving a trail of dead monsters and fallen comrades behind him. This adventure will test the map-making skill of the players and all the skills of the character. As with any solitaire scenario, this adventure can be used by a referee to take players through. Okay. A living dungeon. Oh, so it's just a bunch of entries and no mapping. Like, I guess you're literally just designing the map as you go. Probably just drawing lines on a piece of paper and, you know, shapes for rooms or what have you. Yeah, this is just wall text entries, no art, no diagrams, no maps. Good. This makes me feel like you're just gonna kill people, then you're gonna get killed, and then you're gonna go back and try it again. So you would have to, you'd have to kind of map it and chart it as you go to keep track for the next time you go in when your last adventurer got killed, so you send in a new guy. You would probably have to note on your map where your dead adventurer was and keep their character sheet so you know what they had when you get there. Alright, interesting. Old world solution. Oh. Okay, so this was Eldorad the Lost City, so I was right. They did buy some kind of supplement for that. Ooh, this is nice. This is heavy cardstock. A little bit semi-gloss. Big Eldorad the Lost City. Big map of the city with a key. Smaller sub-maps. There was a time of greatness when the elders walked this land, tall with glory. The great marble towers of the city held aloft by the dwellers, magics, reached huge white hands up to the embrace of Father Sky. This was a time of El Dorado in the flower of its youth. So originally this was a 54-page book detailing the city and its dwellers, 16-page book on the lands around the city, 32-page book of maps for Game Master use, and as player handouts, an 11x16 game aids card, 11x16 full-color painted map, 17x22 full-color painted map of Eldorado, 2 8.5x11 full-color maps of the Artisan Quarter and the Lost Quarter. Alright. Very cool. This is Holloway art. I love me some Jim Holloway. Very cool. I think, looking in the box at a glance, that is the end of the Runequest. Haha. Okay. Here we go. I'm surprised it took this long to strike more D&D. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition. So, hands down, the longest D&D campaign I ever played was the 2nd Edition campaign, set in the Forgotten Realms. Circa 1990 to maybe 94? Which, yeah, I know that's only 4 or 5 years, but that was a long time for me. Had a halfling, had a half-elf ranger who started as human and got reincarnated as a half-elf. Long story. Anyway, this is a player's handbook for AD&D 2nd Edition. Takes me back. All the rage, 2-color printing goes cheaper. So we're talking, let's see, 1989. Very cool. 2nd Edition design, David Zeb Cook. If we see any big standout names here. Betty Elmore in typesetting. I wonder if that's like Larry Elmore's wife. Cover illustration, Jeff Easley. Jeff Easley was a pillar of 2nd Edition. Not seeing a ton else there. This is a derivative work based on the original Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide by Gary Gygax, and Unearthed Arcana and other materials by Gary Gygax and others. You know when you're not going to see anywhere in here? Dave Arneson. Because, as we have discussed in other videos, the AD&D split was a deliberate attempt by Gary to cut Dave out of the monies and the credit. Alright, so 2-color, wall of text. This takes me back. So many years. Okay. I kind of remember that art. That has kind of a Dragonlance look to it, to me. Oh man. This art is repurposed. This was from the Caverns of Sojkanth. That lady is a vampire. I remember that adventure well. That would be AD&D 1st Edition. I'm sure they made a 2nd Edition. Oh, explaining neutrality. Or explaining alignments, I should say. True neutral characters believe in the ultimate balance of forces, and they refuse to see actions as either good or evil. Since the majority of people in the world make judgments, true neutral characters are extremely rare. True neutrals do their best to avoid siding with the forces of either good or evil, law or chaos. Oh, this is so obtuse and not good. I'm sorry. I don't mean offense to the creators, but I don't really like alignment in general. But the idea that there's people who go around sweating whether they are balancing good and evil, lawful and chaos, it's just not real. It's not real at all. And you need some tinge of reality, you know, to bring your humanity into the game you're playing. Oh man, that's a cool picture. Proficiencies. I'm assuming most people know their D&D enough that I'm not gonna. Somebody made a character. Oh, NPC. Special abilities, proficiencies, skills, and languages. So this is, you know, this is before third, obviously before third, fourth, and fifth. So those who haven't played this probably are like, what? What's going on here? Yeah. This looks like the cover of a VHS for some trashy 80s sci-fi, sword and sorcery kind of knockoff movie. No offense to the artist. Rules. Treasure. Wizard spells. Should we do it? Should we skip to the third level? Should we do it? Look at the classic. Oh, look at that. Wizard doing things to strange. Was that a hippocampus or something? Alright, let's go to the fireball. There he is. Alright, here's your AD&D 2nd edition fireball. Range 10 yards plus 10 yards per level. Verbal, somatic, and material components. Instantaneous duration. Casting time 3. Area effect 20-foot radius. Saving throw half. A fireball is an explosive burst of flame which detonates with a low roar and delivers damage proportional to the level of the wizard who cast it. 1d6 points of damage for each level experience of the spellcaster, up to a maximum of 10d6. The burst of the fireball creates little pressure and generally conforms to the shape of the area in which it occurs. The fireball fills an area equal to its normal spherical volume, roughly 33,000 cubic feet. Besides causing damage to the creatures, the fireball ignites all combustible materials, blah 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 blah. The wizard points his finger and speaks the range, distance, and height at which the fireball is to burst. A streak flashes from the pointing digit unless it impacts upon a material body or solid barrier prior to attaining the prescribed range, blossoms into a fireball. An early impact results in early detonation. So, in their view, a wizard is going, pointing and saying 2 meters from the floor, 13 meters away, although it'll all be in feet because America. That just seems weird and mechanical, and another reason I don't play a lot of D&D. So magic, as in most of these old fantasy games, takes up a huge chunk of the book. Huge. A little kind of charcoal-y looking art there. Got some appendixes. Go beyond the game. Alright, so we are into AD&D territory. The Dungeon Master's Guide, 2nd edition. This is such a mechanically different game from that Runequest game that, you know, props to my buddy Rob and his friends for trying new things. Oh, D&D. Money. Equipment by time period. Okay, that's something interesting. So they actually have a chart that's supposed to show you, I want bronze plate mail. It's available in ancient period. And for some reason, no, that's it. And then after that, no one was messing with bronze. What about longbow? Not in the ancient period, but the Dark Ages. Interesting. Why wouldn't it be available? Well, it doesn't say not available. What? Anywho. Saving throws for items. So more detail on combat sequence. Initiative. Initiative roll determines who acts first in any given combat round. Initiative is not set, but changes from round to round. A character never knows for certain if he will get to act before another. Initiative is normally determined with a single roll for each side in a conflict. This tells whether all the members of the group get to act before or after. There are also 2 optional methods that can be used to determine initiative. Each of these optional methods, standard initiative, procedure, initiative, modifier. So, this is interesting too. Group initiative was a default in 2nd edition. When I played 2nd edition, we all always rolled our own initiative. So that's interesting. Facing. So we're getting crunch, we're getting tactical. Critical hit systems, grenade-like. Oh, look at. That's, what is that? Carrion crawler? Some such? Treasure. So as much as the player's handbook was, a huge chunk of it was the magic, the spells. I'm sure the DM's guide is a ton of treasure. Yeah. Oh, and encounters. That's good. Cool little picture fighting a giant snake. Literally a mummy. Again, I am burning through these because there's a lot of books and I don't want this video to be like 6 hours long. Rods, So yeah, a bunch of magic items. Cube of Force. This device can be made of ivory, bone, or any hard mineral. It is about the size of a large die, perhaps 3/4 across, and enables its possessor to put up a wall of force 10 feet per side around this person. This cubic screen impervious to the attack forms shown on the table below. The cube has 36 charges and the energy is restored each day. The holder presses one face of the cube to activate or deactivate the field. Oh, so there's different faces for different threats. See, again, that's too on the nose. It's like, oh, I got a thing for that. That's not adventure to me. That's not exciting to me. But anyway, moving on. Bunch of magical weapons. Horn blade. Do they have black razor in here? Probably. Nope, doesn't look like it. Table of contents. Dungeon Master's Guide. Yay! The official Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Unearthed Arcana. Oh, so this would be 1E, technically, I think. Yep. Like they bought it at Toys R Us. Oh, R.I.P. Toys R Us. And it's not the year 2017, by the way. It's just the little reference number over here. This is the latest of the AT&T gamebooks. Further defines and describes the game system. Inside are new spells, character classes, magic items, weapons, and much more for both players and game dungeon masters. Okay, so this is actually 1E, right? Precursor stuff. This is like on the border between this and when 2E came out. I had this book. Oh, my buddy Rob. He went by Robbie. I won't embarrass you, Rob. Sorry. 1985, though. Okay. So I was playing 1E around that time and probably through high school. So like 89. And then early 90s started with the 2E stuff. Yeah, so this is right on the cusp. We would have been using stuff from both books probably at least for a while. And I think they introduced a Cavalier in this book, right? Oh yeah, and they introduced a Comeliness. That didn't last long. Character abilities, Comeliness. Comeliness reflects physical attractiveness, social grace, and personal beauty of the character. It's used to determine initial reactions to the character. So this is actually saying, alright, charisma is purely your personality, your charm. This is like your physical attraction. Comeliness is not charisma. I wonder if they get into the weird stuff like modifying it for females and stuff. I hope not. Oh, and they're giving bonuses and penalties. Half-orcs get a -3 to their comeliness. Up to Grey Elves getting a +2. Not seeing anything about sex divisions there. That's good. Good job, TSR, for not doing that. Interesting. Character races. So by this point, we've got a ton of races, right? Grey Hill and Mountain Dwarves. Dark Grey High Valley Wildwood Elves. Deep Surface Gnomes. Half-Elves, Halflings, Half-Orcs, Humans. And then classes they could play. And there's Cavalier, which I think got introduced in this book. I could be wrong. Oh, there's a little Elmore sketch there. That's cool. Alright. Cleric spells. So they got new spells. Oh my gosh, it's almost all new spells. Or, well, a large part of it is new spells. Alright, maybe this isn't where they introduced the Cavalier. I thought it was. They have them referenced in here. What book was that from if it wasn't Unearthed Arcana? I don't know. Anyway. Cavalier was sort of a paladin without hang-ups. You know, they were all about being a mounted knight. And they had the honor and everything, but they didn't have the, we have to be a baby cleric, lawful baby cleric person. So, some appendices, weaponless combat, some optional systems, basically. Subdual rule, gods of the elves. So this really is just sort of a catch-all, like, supplement, a bunch of new stuff. Appendix T, the nomenclature of polearms. So you've got a whole little appendix section. How to name your polearms. What to properly call your polearms. Wow. Multiple page spread of all the different polearms. Which is cool. But I'm thinking just purely from a practical point of view. Did you need, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. 6 pages. 5.5 pages on names and descriptions of polearms. I don't know. Feels like filler, kind of. Here's some credits. Creation, design, Gary Gygax. Design consultants, Frank Metzler and Jeff Grubb. 2 legends of the game. Illustrations, Easley. Okay, Easley and Holloway I immediately recognize. The other two I'd have to kind of see some of their work. But yeah, that's Unearthed Arcana. Oh my god, you guys, we still got more in here. Oops. So much stuff, I'm like knocking my camera around. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we're getting into 3rd edition. How do I know this? Because of this logo has ditched advanced from the title, and it's got that brown leatherette look, which was very popular in the 3rd edition book design. Turn it over. Wizards of the Coast. Dun dun dun. It's happened. You did it. You blew it up. Sorry. Wizards of the Coast went all in on splat books. The little supplementy things they could sell you for your classes. And I think that's what we're running into here now. A guidebook to barbarians, druids, and rangers. So it's just a little tune-up for your class. Right, so extra abilities, extra info about skills or proficiencies, spells probably for the magical ones. Yep, spells. Mounts. So, yeah, different prestige classes for these. So it's sort of like focusing your barbarian, druid, or ranger into a more focused area and getting perks for doing that. Yeah, it's not really my thing. I played 3.5 that other people ran, and I'm not gonna say I didn't have fun, but it's just not. It's not my go-to. It's not really my thing. Sword and Fist. So this one's for fighters and monks. Same idea. It's a splat book designed to tune up fighters and monks. Fighters and monks in the world they live in. Ravager. So these are the prestige classes that your fighters and monks. Master Samurai. Okay. This feels very random. Alright, yeah, that's a thing. That's how they made some money in the early days of 3 and 3.5. Tome of Blood, Guidebook to Wizards and Sorcerers. So it was really a, oh man, I gotta be able to have one of these books for anybody playing a wizard, or I gotta have one for the people playing fighters, people playing clerics. To me, this is just all exhausting. This feels like what you see in video games today, where you're buying extra doodads for a video game that nominally should have been complete. It's fine. It's cool. But where does it end? And, you know, you run into the thing where one person maybe has this book, so they're making a character with all these extra little bells and whistles. What someone else is going to play that doesn't have the book for their class, it's a problem. It's a problem. And it's a problem Wizards of the Coast made money off of, to be honest. So this one's for bards and rogues. We're getting into that more modern era of D&D art. It's not my favorite. It's not bad. Not bad at all. But it's not... It's just... I don't know. It's just softer and less unique looking. They do have a little more interior art than the old TSR stuff did, so I give credit for that. But it is all black and white. It's all monochrome on the inside, so super cheap. Alright, so that's Bard. You can tell I'm not very enthused about that stuff. I'm sorry. Monsters of Faerun. So this is literally a book, a little companion book for Forgotten Realms specific monsters. This is full color on the inside. That is nice that it is. Okay, so this a little nicer, a little more effort. I wonder what year. Mighty heroes deserve wicked foes. That is true. What year are we into here now? Oh my god, I don't see a year. There it is, 2001. Okay, so this is it's a really good condition too. So it's all shiny and new looking, but it is already almost quarter century old. I'm old. So it's just a bunch of new monsters, which is another D&D thing. It's like, how many monsters are you going to go through? Tell a story. Make one monster an important part of a story. You don't need 500 monsters. These dragons. What's going on with these dragons? Fang dragons. What? Deep dragons. Fang dragon. Fang dragons are greedy, rapacious, and cunning creatures. Their bodies are armored with bony plates that rise into projecting spurs. Okay, so they're walking away from the standard colors and metals of D&D dragons to make some more dragons. Interesting. I guess I could get away with that because it's Faerun. Hero Builder's Guide. Hey, $13.95. Just so many little books. Oh, I turned over more than one. Give your character every advantage. When you sit down to create a character, let your mind do the work. Don't just leave it to the dice. The Hero Builder's Guidebook puts you at your fingertips everything you need to know before your character's first adventure. Okay, so they're giving you sort of like ideas for class and race combinations, it looks like. Background stuff to get you thinking about your character. And some charts. Okay, so background charts are cool. I enjoy that. That's fun. Nice to see something like that in the D&D game. This is a very what the hell is that D&D world called? Dark Sun. This is a very Dark Sun looking piece of art on the cover. Probably recycled. Defenders of Faith. So this is again $18.95. We're going up. So this is for the splat book for clerics and paladins. How to min-max your cleric or paladin, or focus them more. That'll be the nice thing to say about it. That's the other problem for me in D&D is I'm just not a min-maxer. It's not my deal, not my jam. At all. Okay. And here it is. The Player's Handbook. Core Rulebook 1. So this is it. And it's also a really messy looking cover. This is a very worn book. Although spine's okay, it looks like. This is it. Retail for $19.95. This is Wizards' take on D&D. The kickoff of Wizards' take on D&D. Let's get a year here, maybe, for this tiny print. 2000. So yeah, the turn of the millennium. The rule book. So this sort of brown and yellow thing was kind of the hallmark of D&D 3rd edition. Here's our races. Male and female. This is kind of cute. How to sketch an elf kind of thing. Classes. What do we got in original 3rd edition? Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Wizard. Alright. So no Warlock. Sorry guys. There's a Barbarian. So I think this is... yeah. So the second edition with Barbarians had this thing where they hated magic and they would destroy magic. And we had a Barbarian in our party in my long campaign I played in who created all sorts of havoc trying to destroy magical items. And I think they got rid of that. They didn't like, I'm sure, the conflict caused within a party where, you know, in a game where magic is everywhere, magic is basically technology. You know, it's normal for low-level adventurers to have multiple magical items. In that kind of world, and have a guy who just wants to go around destroying magic, maybe too much conflict for people. And I get it. I mean, you are at a certain point just being an ass if you're just always trying to destroy people's stuff. That's a classic 3rd edition art. This has been repurposed before. Bad use of... Failed to use a magic item properly. Very cool. They got some nice little art. Repeating crossbow. Oh man, look out. Nunchaku. Yeah. I mean, I love all the weird mix of, you know, Western and Eastern weapons because it's fantasy, right? I just think it's always funny that they exist side by side, whereas they should probably be regional, maybe? I don't know. Or special, like in an area where the Eastern stuff is more common, then the Western stuff should become special. Anywho, combat stuff cover. Paladin scaring some ghouls down here. Grenade chart. And then your spells. Oh, and then now we're getting into just listing the spells and then telling you any spell, who uses it and at what level they use it. So this is just an alphabetical list of all the spells. No idea if that's a better way to do it or not. Seems weird. There's our fireball. Range 400 feet plus 40 feet per level. Area 20 feet radius spread. I feel like this is a dramatic change. The damage is the same. Die 6 points per caster level. Maximum 10 die 6. That part stay the same. Okay, yeah, magic takes up a huge amount of this book, like it always does in D&D books. I just want to see what's at the other end. Is this a glossary? General guidelines and glossary. Yep. Alright, well, I mean, that's cool. Here's our D&D character record sheet. And we gave you a couple monsters in the back. Just that fun. Classic gelatinous cube. Oh yeah, the CD's gone. So this came with a CD. I vaguely remember that. It's like a CD-ROM to pop in your computer. I think it had a character generator on it, as I recall. Oh look, a dupe copy. We're not gonna look at that. All right. We're getting down to it, but there's still some stuff. And this is going to be a little more entertaining for me personally. Look at this one. Star Wars, the role-playing game. Oh, look what era. We're talking prequel era. Which one is this? Oh, this is Wizards of the Coast. Okay. So this is a D20 system. Can you see that? D20 system. Star Wars. Yeah. So Wizard said, we can do Star Wars. Let's license it. Species, class. Templates. Oh, okay. So they gave you some templates so you can kind of just go off of things that would be common in the world. Your ability score. To create an ability score for your character, roll 4 6 dice. Disregard the lowest die and total the 3 highest dice. So nothing changing there. All the standard stats, it looks like. Yes. We got some old pictures, so they're using a lot of I guess with the license, they probably got to use some of the pictures from the movies. Here's our species. Quite a few classes. Okay, so the classes in D&D Star Wars, which is what I'm going to call this, are Fringer, Noble, Scoundrel, Scout, Soldier, Force Adept, Jedi Consular, and Jedi Guardian. This is a stretch. I'm not a big fan of taking things and making them work in D&D. I'd rather make a game designed to bring out the best aspects of that property or world or whatever it is. But it's cool. They tried it. Well done. My buddy Rob apparently bought it. Hope you got to play and had fun. Force Adept. Force Adept's most important ability scores are Intelligence and Wisdom, as they control her most important Force skills, those of Alter and Sense feats. Okay, so Force is going to be like feats, it sounds like. Interesting. Skills. Lots of skills. Okay. Oh, big section on skills. I'm impressed. Wizards. Skills. Feats. Here we go. Heroic characteristics. What does your character look like? Oh, so this is just advice on kind of fleshing out your character's appearance and attitudes and such. We've got movement rules. Huh. Armor. Protective armor exists in the Star Wars universe, but only the lightest types see widespread use. Heavier armor is considered to be too expensive, too restrictive, and just not worth it. When a character wears armor, the armor's defense bonus replaces the character's class-based defense bonus. Okay, so they're doing some kind of just generic defense bonus that affects like a target number to hit. Combat basics, don't really care. How do they handle vehicle combat, I wonder? Sensor, starship ranges. Areas of play. Okay, so we get a little history lesson for Star Wars here. Jar Jar Binks. Okay, allies and opponents. Aliens of the galaxy. Alright, so this is your sort of alien menagerie monster manual type area with very little art. Hey, I'm a dude with headphones. What up, Star Wars? Oh, we know him. Okay. It's all just like extra leftover photos, largely like set photos or stuff from they used for PR or whatever. Interesting. Alright, well, Star Wars, yay, Phantom Menace era there, but old school there. Alright. Wheel of Time, the role-playing game, with introduction by Robert Jordan. Okay, so if you're familiar with our channel, our live stream actual plays, one of our regular players is Will. Will is a giant Wheel of Time fan. He could tell you a lot about his opinions on the TV series on Amazon. Okay, so this is D20 again. My buddy Rob was all in on the Wizards of the Coast products, apparently. Okay. And this is cover art from the books. I totally recognize that art. Wheel of Time. Background. Oh, nice little map of the known world there. There's our folk. You would have to do more of a cultural thing in Wheel of Time and less of a race or species kind of thing. Background feats. So this is very much a D20. Classes. Okay, what are our classes? 7 main classes. Algai de Soai, a fierce desert warrior who uses agility, skill, and spear fighting ability to defeat his foes. An armsman, an initiate, a noble, a wanderer, a wilder, and a woodsman. Wilder is a person who has a natural but untrained ability to channel level 1 power. I only read the first Wheel of Time book, and that was a long time ago. So I'm a little ignorant. I always rely on Will to fill me in when it matters. I don't think we're gonna break any new ground here though, guys, because this is just a D20 implementation of Wheel of Time, which is just a fantasy world. So, I mean, the only thing's gonna be magic, right? Theoretically, magic might work a little different. Looks like they had channeling magic in there, which would be more like the 1 power thing from Wheel of Time. What do you do with that magic? Some combat. The 1 power, here we go. Casting Weaves. An understanding of the true source allows channelers to grasp the immense potency of the 1 power. Weaves let them put that power to use. Weaves are like formulas or magic spells, methods by which the 1 power is manipulated to create the often awesome effects that only channelers can achieve. Embracing the true source. The first step in wielding the 1 power is embracing the true source. As a channeler, you open yourself to the 1 power, allowing it to flow into and through you. This is a full round action, so you channel, right, your power for an action. Once you embrace the true source, you maintain it until you choose to let it go. You do not have to cast the weave immediately, and you do not have to embrace the source again after you cast. Until you release it, you remain embraced to the true source. It may be tempting to hold the embrace permanently. Indeed, the sensation is very seductive, but there are some disadvantages. For starters, embracing the source creates a glow of Sidar around female channelers. This is invisible to most people, but channelers of the same gender and some shadow spawn can see the glow. So you cast. Looks like there's some saving throws involved. And then we get into like actual spell things that they would do. So the D&D-fication of the whole thing, I guess. Prestige classes. Oh, they were already into that stuff at this point. Our game mastering section. Poisons, knockout drops. Okay. Creatures. Golem. Very little is known about the shadow spawn known as Golem. They were created during the Age of Legends by the Forsaken Agenor, though it is not known from what original stock. The Golem served the Dark One as warriors of great skill, hunting down and killing many of the powerful Aes Sedai of that age. Only 6 were ever made, 3 men and 3 women, and none are known for certain to have been killed. At least one managed to survive to the current age. Golem are especially dangerous shadow spawn for several reasons. They are extremely strong and fast, and extremely resistant to damage. A single golem is more than a match for dozens of typical armed men. More importantly, however, golem are immune to weaves. This allows them to ignore most channelers' attacks. Yeah. So, ring wraith kind of action going on there. Big old war elephant. Well, if nothing else, you could get ideas for other games, I guess. History of the Westlands. Camlin. Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice product. It's not my bag, but it's nice. See, we've got an ad for the books in the back. Character sheet. Nice. Very 3rd edition D&D looking character sheet. Alright, wheel time. We've struck more and more broken your escape tiles. Yeah. Okay, Monster Manual Core Book 3. So this is the 3rd edition Monster Manual, or Monster Manual 1. Because, right, they made more. We know how this works, so I'm just going to flip through and look at some art. Not much art. A little underwhelming, guys. A little underwhelming. Here's our dragons. Dragon. Dragon turtle. Free engine. The giants. Homunculus. Wow, that is one ugly homunculus. I mean, they're always ugly, but that one looks like they didn't finish making it or something. Mephit. Oh, outsider. Mephits are minor elemental creatures drawn from the basic components of creation. I thought some Mephits were like demons. Anywho. Rock Shotha. Stir. Stirs are bat-like creatures that feed on the blood of living beings, while just one poses little danger to most adventurers. Multiple surges can be a formidable threat. The Terras. The big boy. Colossal magical rate. 840 hit points. I look forward to that 12-hour combat. Whites. With the wow. Where's the art? Wizards. I mean, I know you were kind of new at this point, but ugh. Pages and pages. Lich? How are you not putting an awesome picture of a Lich in the Lich section? Oh my god. Live and learn. Live and learn. Alright. Monster Manual 3rd edition. Psionics Handbook. What? I was never a huge fan of fantasy psionics. For some reason, I was okay with it in sci-fi, but not a big fan of it in fantasy. I don't know why. Just quirk, I guess. Alright, so this is literally for making classes that are devoted to psionics. This is just powers with no art. Wow. Hey, there's a picture. Oh boy's turning his hand into a knife. That's cool. it just didn't make a lot of sense, right? It's like you have all these different magical disciplines, all this magic everywhere, magic in D&D. Why do you need psionics? Like, why isn't psionics just those effects just found in other magical disciplines? If you're a fan of psionics, I apologize. Feel free to comment and call me names in the comments. Mind flayers, I get that, you know, the psychic stuff was their deal. I feel like those could have just been intrinsic abilities, though. Really sparse on the artwork. I mean, you're getting this hardbound book that apparently back then you were paying about $20 for. Psychic monsters. Githyanki. Githyanki are a huge deal. Like, they came out originally in the Fiend Folio hardback book for AD&D, first edition. And I think they were taken from a British-made D&D adventure or supplement, because that's kind of what Fiend Folio was like all this British stuff. And they captured a lot of people's imagination. They got used by a lot of folks during the A&D time. And here we have them listed because they kind of have a psychic thing going on with no art. Intellect Devour gets a picture. And of course, you get to play you could play a Githyanki in that new Baldur's Gate, which is kind of cool. Alright, psionics. Yeah. I'm not impressed, sorry. Manual Planes, Dungeons and Dragons. These are in pretty good condition. I don't think these got used a lot. This book is about elsewhere. It is about heaven and hell. It is about the building blocks of the universe and the palaces of the deities. It is about glowing portals and paths through mist and shadow. It is about the universe and the cosmology that holds it all together. It is also about the planes of existence, the idea of elsewhere, realms and domains more powerful and more strange than ours. So it's sort of a guide to the planes, Planescape is the thing I was trying to think of. But I'm sure they've taken out all the crazy and dark looking stuff from Planescape. Or a lot of it. It's kind of almost more steampunky looking stuff here. So we got spells, new spells related to planner stuff. Astral color pools. This is, I mean, if it's your bag, it's your bag. It's not my thing. Like, keep it simple, right? Preserve the mystery. Don't lay it all in a book and itemize everything. Not everything has to be mathematical. Not everything has to be a system. Some of it should be atmosphere. That's, for me, that's just my thing. And that affects a lot of my opinion of D&D stuff. Again, pages and pages without art. There's some art. Creepy little ghosty things being driven by a demon. It's probably somewhere in the hells. Elysium. Some extra planar creatures. Now we get a Githyanki. Okay, so we have a whole section on Githyanki here. Because they are from another plane. I always liked the Githyanki. Thought they're kind of cool. What is that? Wood element creatures. Okay, so designing creatures from different elemental planes. Alright. Dungeon Masters guide. Didn't we already look at one of those? Yes, we did. So, my man Rob, who gave me all this stuff, apparently bought multiple copies of things. Is this the end of the box? Oh, this is the end of the box. Alright. Since it's the end of the box, we will just flip through and stop at a page and look. What did we get? What did we get? Oh, these are like characteristics for magic items. Let's look at one. Chaotic. That grabbed you. A chaotic weapon is chaotically aligned and infused with the power of chaos. Chaos, chaos, chaos. It deals plus 2d6 points of bonus chaotic damage against all of lawful alignment. It bestows 1 negative level on any lawful creature attempting to wield it. The negative level remains as long as the weapon is in hand, and it disappears when the weapon is no longer wielded. This negative level never results in actual level loss, but it cannot be overcome in any way, including restoration spells, while the weapon is wielded. Bows, crossbows, and slings, so enchanted, bestow the chaotic power upon their ammunition. So if it's a chaotic weapon in your lawful, you are effectively 1 level lower while you're using it. That's fun. That's cute. Again, just not a ton of art. A little bit. There's a deck of many things. Classic. Little tiny pictures here and there, and then a ton of price lists. Because magic is just technology in D&D. It's all for sale. Buy your magic, murder hobos. Buy your magic. Don't adventure for that long-lost artifact with its amazing legend and story to tell. Just buy some stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean for this to become an editorial, but yeah, this brings up... Seeing this old stuff is both sentimental and annoying because it reminds me of the stuff that made me walk away from these games. Because I want to tell stories, I want to go on adventures, I want to investigate mysteries, I want to have cool interactions around the table where people are giving to the story and characters are interacting, and I don't care about this like weird magic capitalism in D&D. In fact, it turns me off. Anyway, nice hard book. It's very worn. I'm sure you can see that in the reflectivity, but it's relatively good condition, all things considered. Just the coating they put on these covers picks up the scuffs really bad. Well, that was our last book, guys. I know I burned through them pretty quick, but thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you next time.
Matt's got a mystery box. Am I too late?